Good morning to you all. So last day we discussed about the traversal technique of binary search tree, and we have just discussed about an example. As an example, the in-order search, in-order, some sorry, pre-order uh, binary search tree traversal. And um suppose this tree is present over here. A left child is B and right child is C, and this are actually given. Suppose the tree is little bit more dense. Okay, so I'm not going in greater detail what are the nodes present under B and C. So I've just considered that okay, some data is present, and if it happen, then how the searching actually happen, that we are we have just discussed. So what we have seen that it's better to have a recursive solution since it is pre-order. That means at least in between A, B, C, this node will be printed first, and then its left child, and then the right child. So that's why we will start from this point. This is your root. So this is your basically T. This is your basically T, and then either I will go, I mean, after printing this node A, I will go to left, and then I will print this until and unless there is nothing in the left hand side. But how I will understand? That's why what actually we are doing, you see, we are printing the data and we are going in left. This because we are calling the same function with a T left. That means I'm going in left, and if I find there is something, I mean, how I'll understand that? If the T is not equal to null. If the T is null, that means, I mean, it may happen that this left side of B have nothing. So this part is null, right? So if it is null, then I don't have anything. I can easily go back to the previous clone of the pre-order function where we stuck, right? So that's actually happening over here, because if I assume that this after printing this B, you are going in left and you find it's null, so that pre-order clone will basically return back to the previous pre-order clone where this B was printed, and then I mean maybe something present in the right side will be checked, right? So in this way we can write a recursive solution for a pre-order function. Now, in case of in order or in case of post order, the philosophy remains same. So, in case of in order, what will happen? This print statement will vary. The position of this print statement will vary, depends on the type of order. If it is pre-order, that's why this print statement is before this to pre-order function. And if it is a in-order function, then what will happen? It will be something in between two, two pre-order call. And if it is post-order, we will see that uh, the print function will be basically at the end, right? So you can check it in your home that how we can vary this print function with respect to different type of order of traversal. Now question is that this is the part of traversal, fine. Now question is that without creating the tree it is not possible to traverse, right? So the algorithm for creation of the tree is left. So today what we will do, we will go for PST creation algorithm. So just a minute. So you see, mm, so to realize how the BST creation algorithm will work, let's take a very simple tree and some assumption about the variable names. So suppose there is a tree something like uh, A is a root of the tree, and then in the left side we have B, and in the right side we have C, D, and in there is nothing in the right of B, suppose, and maybe it contain D, E, and F both. Then maybe uh, G. Okay, we can have one more option over here. That is, we have a H, the right side of D. Okay. So suppose the tree that you are going to basically the set of data that you have in your hand after successfully executing the algorithm, the tree will be created, I mean, visually something like this. So, and this is the root of the tree, that is very clear to us. So now we have two part in the BST creation algorithm. Two part in the sense that obviously there is a main function. From the main function, the uh, some function for creation of the algorithm will be called, and that algorithm is actually responsible for not only creating the nodes of the tree but also connecting with the existing tree, right? Now uh, so let's do one thing. Let's first write the part, at least the basic set of statements that we can have in a main function of the in this situation. So let's do one thing. So suppose we have a main, and obviously the structure declaration for the tree will be there. Now that you know how to declare the structure of the tree, if you still have some doubt, or if you missed that, you can go through my previous lecture videos and you can find that. And now here, so what we can do, we can just say uh, declare a variable, say root, whose data type is tree star. So let's write tree star root. Okay, and I cannot right now. Let's see if other variable required, then I will declare that accordingly. And here, suppose I have say some specific amount n equal to say 10. Okay, so this n is the number of node that you want to create in the tree, and maybe some variable I will be there. Okay, that is actually for running on the loop. So my idea is that I will use a loop, and within the loop I will call the creation algorithm more than once, so that it can be created. Now see, maybe we can use a for loop. So I equal to say 1 to n. I'm not going in detail how to write for loop because you know that. And here a very important thing is that what will be the return type of this creation algorithm function. If I assume that the creation algorithm function name is create, so what is the return type of the create function? Is it void or something else? If I see, you see, if you consider it is a void function, it means, you see, one a very important thing in the, I mean, creation algorithm. Okay, let's go to the creation algorithm little bit, then I will come back so that we can understand what to write as a return type of the creation algorithm. So if you write the creation algorithm here, you see, suppose the as the name I consider it's create, so I'm writing create, and within the create function I must pass this root because initially this root is null, so I have to initialize it as null, right? So initially this root is null. Now what does root equal to null mean? The root equal to null means the tree doesn't even exist, right? Doesn't even exist. So that means at that time, the when the create function will be called, there is only one job, that is the node has to be created, nothing else. But after that, all the nodes when will get created, the job of the create function not only create the node but also connect with the previous tree. I mean already existing tree. That means I have to pass this root of the tree every time so that we can understand whether we are creating or whether we are calling the create function first time or second time onwards. So if I pass the root variable uh, as the parameter, so we can easily write tree pointer root. Okay, so we are passing this one fine, and then you see, uh, first thing that we have to check what is the status of this root, right? So initially the root is null, so that's why here what we can do, we can have a checking that if root equal to null, then there is only one job, that is to create the tree. So that means we can say that we can use one more pointer, say for example t, for creating the node. So we can call a create node function. This create node function is responsible for creating the node of the tree, right? And then there is nothing to connect because I am creating the tree first time. The first node is going to be created, so there is no scope to adding with the previous part of the tree. So that's why what I can do, I can just return. I can just return. Now when you are returning, you see, since you have declared this root variable within main function, that means the scope of this root variable is within main only. That means if you don't update the root variable after creating this node first time, if you don't update this root variable, then at the time of calling the create function second time in the loop, the parameter value will remain same. I mean it will remain null. So if you don't update that, every time this root equal to null will get uh, true, and only one node will get created and nothing else, which I don't want. That means I should pass, I mean I should return not only the control but also this new pointer, that is t. So basically what's happening, you can assume in this way that a new node has been created with this a, whose address suppose say 100. So this is now pointed by t currently within this create function, and when you are returning t, what will happen? This root has to get updated. Now if you want to update this root, then when you are calling this create function, you should return in a root. That means the create must have a return type. So you can say that root equal to create root. What does it mean? When I'm calling the create function, I'm passing the content of the root, that is the something, some address. So initially root is null, so null will get passed and it will come here. So root is null, that's why the first time has been created. Now you are returning the current address of a node, which is a valid address. So what will happen? Now this root will get updated. So when this particular create function will be called second time, then this root doesn't contain null. It contains some valid address, right? And that's why next time this root equal to null will get false, which I want, because second time onwards not only I have to create the node, I have to connect it. Cannot do it within the if statement. Everything within only. So here if else. Now see, since you have to update this, because the scope of this root is only within main, and that's why create has must have a return type. And what it is returning, basically it is returning t. And what is t? T is basically a pointer which points the newly created node. What type of pointer? Tree pointer. So the return type of create function should be tree pointer, something like this. Now this create function has to be tree pointer. It's not a mandatory. Just because of I have considered that the root present in this main function is basically scope is within the main. That's why I have to do that. If I consider root is a global variable, this root is declared somewhere before main. In that case, this root is identifiable even in main and even in create function also. In that case, this root doesn't need to pass. In that case, you can have a void function. So whether you will take a void as a return type of the create function or something like a tree pointer, it depends upon how you are taking the root variable in your program. Though I'm not forcing to do it as a tree pointer, you can do it void also, but you have to remember that when you are doing void, you cannot have a scope of root within main only. It must be visible directly by the create function. In that case, root has to be global variable. So keeping, when you will write program, you must keep all these things in your mind. And then, anyway, so what we have done, we have created this root, and now this is pointed by root. So that means now root contain 100, right? Since root is pointing this node, that means root contain 100. So now next time when the create function will get called, root contains some valid address, and this if will get false. So I will come in else part. Else part mean node has to be created as well as it has to connect with the previous tree. So naturally the statement will remain same for creating this. So tree equal to create node, you can use again here. By the way, one thing, I by mistake I have written this t equal to create node in else as well as in if. So basically, when you are calling a create function means you will create something, create a node. A node now after creating the node, whether it will be added with previous existing tree or it will be nothing, it will do nothing. It totally depends upon in I mean I mean the timing of calling the create function. So that's why you can do one thing also, like you can keep this t equal to create node function, this particular line, even before if statement, because since this particular statement is within if and else both, that means basically I can say execution of this statement is conditionless. So you can keep this statement even before if, so that when the create function will get called, a node will be created, and then either the node will get returned for the first time, or something more will happen, has to do because of the second time onwards. Anyway, so now after creating this node, now my intention is to put this node properly in the tree. Now take a situation that within considering only one node, it's not really easy to realize that what's going to happen. But if you go to this particular node, for example, say mm, take a situation something like H. Suppose that current situation is that every node is created, only H is not there. Okay, so at some ith time the create function is called. So a node is created with this H and it is not connected. I mean, it is not still connected. So you can think in this way, like there is no connection right now. Okay, so this node is the other part of the tree is the existing tree. So you can say that this part, the whole tree, this part is existing. Okay, this is existing, and some ith time another create function is called and it has created this node. Now question is that I have to connect it. So now I will understand what to do. When we have seen that how to create a node, how to create a binary search tree from a set of numbers. What we have seen? We have seen that we will start from root, and whether it is greater than root and lesser than root, I will change my direction accordingly. Right. So with respect to this position of h that was in the right side of d, I can say that h was actually lesser than a, lesser than a, even lesser than b, even lesser, even greater than d. So when h will be compared with a, I will see that okay, I mean it's lesser than h. Okay, let's do one thing. Maybe with respect to abcd, it is not much more clear to you. So just write it with a number. So suppose the same thing I'm writing with respect to number. So in that case, what will happen? It can be, say, for example, 10. In this side, we have say 5, 5. Okay, and then in this side we have 15. Side we have say 12. Oh, sorry. And this side 18. Then in this side, suppose 17, right? and this side we have say 2, and maybe this is 4. So you see, by structure they are same. So according to that, I think I can say one thing, that assume this is not connected. So that is the existing tree we have. Okay, and I have at some ith time I have just uh, call a function, call the create function, and then we have created a node having value 4. Now what is the intention? We have to put this 4 in the proper place of the tree. So what we will do? If I give you 4 and I tell you that put this 4 in the tree, you will start checking from this root. You will see that root if 4 is lesser than 10. So you will come in the left side. As soon as you will come the left side, you will now check 4 with 5. So basically you are updating your node, and according to the current value of that node where you are pointing, you are taking decision whether you will go left or right. So according to that, you will go in the left again because 4 is lesser than 5. So you have found this 2, and then you have checked with 2 and found that 4 is greater than 2. So you should go in the right side of 2, but there is nothing in the right side. Since there is nothing in the right side, that's why you are connecting. If it was there something in the right side, then you had to go that. So similar thing for this 12. 12 is greater than 10. So that's why if you assume that 12 is not here right now, it has to be connected. 12 is just a node created which is not still connected in the existing tree. So that means this particular connection is not present right now. So 12 will be first checked with 10, and then since it is greater than, you have to go in the right side of 10. Now since this right side of 10 is already filled up, already filled with 15, that's why you will basically go in the right side once, and then you will check with the updated value of the current node where you are pointing with 12. 12 we will see lesser than this 15, and 15 doesn't have any connection because I assume that this is not connected right now. So since 15 left is basically null, that's why you are connecting 15 with 12. So that means until and unless I will get a leaf node, it is not possible to insert. This is a very important thing. So one thing it should be clear to you that in a binary search tree, the node is always inserted in the tree as a leaf node. Not, you cannot do something like you just stretch this 10 and 15 and you will put in between 10 and 15 some value. It is not possible. Like in case of linked list or in case of a array. In case of a linked list, we can insert something in between second and third node, which is not possible over here. You cannot put directly some value between 10 and 15. If I assume that there is some value which is, for example, 18, I'm sorry, not 18, for example, say 12. You cannot keep 12 in between, you cannot stretch the connection of 10 and 15 and put 12 in between them. It is not possible. 12 will be always put in some leaf as a leaf node. And if there is something come which is greater than 12 or lesser than 12, then only that value will be connected with 12 again as a leaf node. Anyway, so one thing is clear, that we will start from this root, we will start checking from this root, and then we will take decision in which side to go. and it will continue till I cannot connect it. Actually, till I cannot reach to the leaf node, right? So that means one thing I can write over here in this part, in the there is a loop, that is very sure. We must have a loop. The question is that what is the criteria of this loop, right? One thing you can do, that I will write an infinite loop, and when I will able to connect my current node with the existing tree, I will break from the loop. That is possible. So it's a very trivial situation. So let's write in that way, and if something better come in my mind, then I will write accordingly. So one thing I can do, I can write an infinite loop, and with this I need one more thing, that is I should initialize this. I should point this node not by root variable, by some other variable, because after connecting this 4 with this, I must return this root. It has to be returned, because you see this function, this is the tree pointer returning function. So whether you are in if or else doesn't matter, you must return something. Since it was a first time you are creating the node, that's why you are returning t. That is okay. But in the else part, you should return the root again, right? Because at the time of inserting something at the leaf node, it is not changing the content of root. That means you cannot change this root variable. So that's why you need one more pointer at least, which will basically take a copy from this root. So I can write a pointer p, which will take a copy from this root, and this p has to be declared, that you know. Due to the space of this particular blackboard, I am not able to declare it. You know that it has to be declared. So when you will write program, you will do accordingly. I'm ignoring this syntactical errors at the time of teaching. So one thing what you can do, within this loop you can check uh, if p okay, so this is your p basically, and a new node which is pointed by t, right? So basically you will check this p data with t data. So you can do something like if t data lesser than p data, that means one thing is sure, that t should be in the left hand side of it. But you cannot connect directly, because you have to get sure that p left doesn't have anything, right? So that means if this is true, then the next checking is that if p next is p left is null or not. If p left is null, that means you can connect that. But if p left is not null, then you have to change your position to p left, and then you have to recheck again with the new value which is pointed by p, something like that. So you can check that if p left not equal to null, p left not equal to null means what? You have to go to the left. So you must change your position as p equal to p left. Sorry. Fine. Now if it is not true, that means p left is equal to null. So it's something like this. A situation is something like this, that I have a data 10 which is pointed by P right now, and I have some data 4 which is pointed by T. So if this is a situation, there is no, this is representing the whole tree itself. So this P left is null, right, in this situation. So it will come in else part and it can directly connect, right? So that means in the else part, you are coming in else part means P left is null. So you can easily connect P left as T. So this part gets completed. But you see, this is just a one side. We have not considered what is the other side. So in the other side of the part, it's not possible to write over here. If I consider that we have some, in the else part of this, what to do? Else part means what? T data is greater than P data. So that means the situation is something like I have some data which is greater than this one. For example, 15. Suppose currently this is pointed by T, okay, and we have seen that this 15 is greater than 10. So now there is two possibilities, that either this T dot, the right hand of this node pointed by P doesn't hold anything, or it is engaged with some value, for example say 12. So if I assume that if P left, in this situation it will be P right not equal to null, then if it is not null, it means it is engaged with some value, for example 12. Suppose there is a data right side, in the right side of 10. So you cannot connect 15 directly with 10. You should come in the right side and then you have to check with respect to 12 whether 15 is greater than 12 or lesser than. So that's why if P right is not null, you have to go. You have to change your position, P equal to P right. And then in the else part means there is nothing. It's something like this. The 10 is not engaged with some another node. So in that case, you can easily connect in a similar way P right equal to T. So you can connect this one. Now see, this part and this part, this part and this part is just a mirror image, right? So this if else. Now see, the example that we have just taken only for two levels, but with respect to this situation, 4 present here, what will happen? 4 will be checked with 10, fine, and we will see that basically T data is less than P data, so we will come in L, you will come in in this condition, P left is not null. Yes, P left not null because 10 left already contain 5. So P equal to P left. So that means this P, here the P will no more point, P will now point here. What will happen? Loop will run again because this two part if and else is present under while. That means the loop will run again and again this checking will happen if T data less than P data. And what I will see? T data remains same, that is 4. Now P data become 5. Instead of 10, now p data become 5. But still, here also t data less than p data. So again the condition p left not equal to null will be checked, and again I will find that yes, p left not equal to null because 5 is engaged with 2. So what will happen? Again p equal to p left will execute. So what will happen? Now p again no more pointing in this particular node, p is now pointing this node. And same thing will occur again, and I will now find that t data is greater than p data. So I will come in else part, and there we will see that if p right not equal to null condition is false, because p right, this current node where p is currently pointing, is not engaged with any other node in the right side at least. So that means this p right not equal to null is false. So again it will come in else part, and then p right equal to t will get executed. So as soon as p right equal to t will get executed, this particular connection will established, and the job is done. So now I should break this loop. That's why that means breaking this infinite while loop is required when either this statement or this statement will execute, right? So you can do one thing, you can keep this one within this else part, so you can keep a bracket, and then here you can write break, and similar thing over here, you can write a break, because p right equal to t or p left equal to t, when this either of these two statements is executed, it means that you have connected the currently created node in the existing tree, and that means the running the loop for finding the position to connect is no more required, so you can break it. So one thing we have seen, that ultimately whatever the data is in the tree, the approach of connecting the newly created node in the existing tree is nothing but actually deciding whether I will go to left or right. So if you are able to realize one of this part, I think the other mirror part is easy to realize. Now this whole thing, I mean, this whole while loop ends here. After this else, I don't have any space to write this end of this while loop. That's why maybe, I mean, you have to imagine it. I mean, I must have a I mean loop. End of the while loop over here. So my loop will start here from here, and it will come from here. It ends, and then and everything is under this else, and then this create function will complete it. So now this is what you can use the create. I mean, this is our approach of writing the create function for creating the set of a particular tree. And you see, this create function is actually creating a node, only a single node. Now, after creating it, whether I mean it will get connected with the previous node or it will do nothing, it depends upon the ith number. I mean, what is the ith number of time when the create function is calling? If it is calling in the first time, then only function will get called and do nothing. new connection. And if it is called next time onwards, naturally this root contains some variable, some address, correct, I mean valid address. So that means never this root equal to null will get true. So automatically it will come in else but and do continue. By the way, one thing still is not possible to write in this small blackboard, that is you must return something in the else part also. If I just forget about what I have written, forget about means if I ignore the while statements and all, the structure of the function will look something like this. I mean, some tree pointer create and tree pointer root. Within this, uh, that mean check just if just t equal to create node, return tree, and in the else part we have something again t equal to create node, then the while loop will start. Some statements under the while loop will come that what we have discussed, and then you must return this root again. So this should be the structure of the create function. This part we have just discussed in my previous slide. Right. So in this way you can write a create function of the tree for creating a binary search tree.